guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm acrylic artist Joni Young, and if you're new here, thanks for joining. So it has been a little while since I posted a brand new video, and I'm really excited to say that today I'm going to be doing something really inspiring and hopefully healing for you guys. So right now across the world, we're all dealing with the scare of the coronavirus. I want to send out healing energy to all of you, positivity. I want you guys to stay strong. We're all going to get through this together. And let's take the time to be thankful and grateful for everything that is going right. Through this painting today, we're going to be using a lot of different colors that are healing and fun to use. And I want to help take your mind off of everything that's scaring you, worrying you, causing you any anxiety, and take you to a place of calmness and healing. I'm going to try to do this live for you without a voiceover. It's something I haven't done in a really long time, and I hope it stays nice and quiet around the neighborhood. It can get a little bit noisy around here. So let's just take this time to just breathe and be calm, relaxed, and let's not forget about everything that is good in the world right now and everything that we should be thankful and grateful for. I know that I am, and that helps me stay grounded through all of this. So stay with me and let's get lost in painting and color and art. The first brush we're going to be using is this large blending brush, and a lot of you guys are asking, is this some brush that I got from an art store? It's not, it's just from a hardware store. It's just a brush that you would use for like $1.99 to paint trim in your house. These ones have lasted me a really long time, and I highly recommend them. So we're working on an 11 by 14 stretched canvas. This is double primed. I haven't gessoed it. We're just going to paint straight on it, directly onto it. So I'm going to take my colors that I've got here, and the idea for this painting is to do something really soft and pretty and healing and just get you out of all of your worries today. So let's begin. I got my brush a little bit wet. I'm going to start with some of this pretty phthalo blue, and I'm going to begin around the outside. So I'm pulling softly, turn my brush like this, wiggle and slide it around. Now at this point I'm running out of paint, so I'm going to quickly get this part covered here and softly dry brush or scumble, whatever you want to call it, get around sort of a shape going like that. Then I'm going to get a little bit more water on my brush, and I'm going to pick up some turquoise. Now this painting is very similar to my tranquil or garden tranquility, pretty little garden scenes that I've done with the archway and the staircase with the sun rays. But I'm just kind of winging this today, and I'm doing something sort of like that along the same lines, something really pretty to look at. And I like painting flowers because they represent new growth, new life, and that is all a really positive, nice thing to think about and to see. So this is kind of all covered in now, and I'm going to take a little bit more of my blue just on the tip of my brush like this, and I'm going to start coming around the sides where I want it to be darker. We're creating like a vignette around, drawing our eyes into the center of the painting. So I'll keep going around. Gradually making it darker. Now it's blending really well and not drying fast because my studio is cold. In fact, I'm a little chilly. I might have to put on a sweater here pretty soon. If you have a warm environment that you're painting in, the acrylic will dry a lot quicker. So keep that in mind. It's a big part of the reason why I don't like painting outside, because it's too warm. Unless I'm painting when it's not warm outside. But who wants to do that? We want to paint when it's sunny and nice out, right? Now, if you do really want to paint plein air and be outside, a good thing you can do, a little tip for you, is just have a little spray bottle, or you can get a medium and combine it with your acrylics. It makes them act like oils. It slows down the drying process. I'm going to take a little bit more of my turquoise now. I just want this to be slightly darker. In order for those sun rays to show up, we need to have it darker. Otherwise you're just putting light on light, and that won't give you much of an impact or a contrast. You'll lose that feeling that you want to create with the light rays shining through. So I'm going to keep on adding more turquoise now from this side. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. I'm just going to wash off my brush. Okay, so I picked up this little makeup brush because I thought that it would make a wonderful little tapping brush or soft stipple brush, and I'm going to try using this right now. I want to begin with some flowers off in the distance before I add my light rays in, because I want it to look like some of those light rays are casting down and hitting the little flowers below. So I am going to take a little bit of my light ultramarine blue, and I'm going to start tapping very small taps, and then they're going to get a little bit bigger. So when I want them to be bigger, you can hear that and see that I'm pushing a little bit harder. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of white right away, and I'll add a little bit, tap really lightly to get some nice light going in there. And I want to bring some up along the side of where this arch is going to be too. So I'm going to tap right here, and maybe up. Maybe this bush or this flower is growing up. And in fact, let's just tap in our archway right now. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And then I'm going to take a little bit of white and start tapping from the side like this. And just a little bit. And then around this side, I'm turning my brush. We'll kind of make it go up. And then I want to just pull and flick softly off of the paint that's there, barely touching the canvas, very light pulls. And then soft little scoops, side to side. Very short little ones back here to make it look like it's further in the distance, and then it gets closer to us here in the foreground, so longer sweeps. I know you can hardly see this right now, but I'm just laying in where the path is going to be. I'm painting this completely just out of my mind right now, so one step at a time it's coming to me, and bringing it to you guys through this little step-by-step today. Well, it's kind of just how I like to do things. I don't like to plan things too much. I think that it leaves out that spontaneity and bit of surprise. So I'm being surprised along with you guys right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next. Okay, so now we've got our archway. We've got some little suggestions that there's some vines hanging there. And we've got some nice light pretty color. I think I'm going to start to come in with some darker tones now and work to build up the light in the center. So to build up some light and atmosphere, we need to really concentrate on some shadows and some contrast. Phthalo blue, and I'm going to still use this little brush, and then I'm going to switch over to one of your guys' favorite brushes that you always ask me about. It's this one. And I actually have no idea what this is called. I know you guys are still, even though you're hearing me say I don't know what it's called, I'm going to get a million questions and messages. I've gotten so many more comments and messages regarding this brush than anything ever in my videos or art. I don't know what it's called. In fact, I'm going to ask you guys, if anybody watching this knows what this brush is called, let me know, because I have not been able to find another one like it. I found it about 10 years ago at just a Michael's art store. And it's my favorite brush. Don't know what it's called. Leave a comment below if you know, and help me and others out who want to find this brush again. Back to the phthalo blue. So I'm just tapping in, and I'm going to begin coming around the edge. And I'm going to leave some spaces before I start my next little bushes. Just leave a few spaces here. And maybe I'll add some right in here. And maybe another one here. Now maybe don't be scared of doing this wrong or thinking that it doesn't look right, because you're going to be layering so much. Just really concentrate on enjoying the process, you guys, and placing all those colors in, creating your little garden of healing. And that's what this painting is called today. It's called the Healing Garden. So right now I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to get it in the water. Little drips. So I'll show you. I just dunk it right in like this. Kind of scumble around the side to loosen the paint. I'm going to put it right here and flick. Just let it flick and drip off the edge using blue and just a little bit of water. I'll come around from this side and I'll just pull gently, a little flick, grab a little bit more water if you need to. Make sure you have something below, because this can be a little bit messy depending on how many drips you want. So I've got my easel tray set right here that's going to catch all those water drips. Okay, so I'll just let those run as I'm working on a little bit more of this. So here we've got sap green, and it's Grumbuck or Academy. This is a really nice one. I use a combination, a wide variety of different brands of paints. My neon here, like this neon pink, that's by Holbein. And I love golden acrylics. So this one here, the light ultramarine blue, is a golden acrylics, and it's a wonderful, wonderful brand. That being said, sometimes I use some cheaper brands, just more fluid and looser ones, just from a dollar store or craft store. So it depends on what kind of painting you want to do, how thick you want your paint to be. So that's when I like to use some heavy body paints. I like to paint thicker and thicker these days. And color intensity, if you want something to be really strong and bold in color, you'll find that with better quality paints. So you may need to splurge sometimes if you really want to have that type of painting and that color. So I'm going to take, without washing my brush, I'm going to take some of this sap green, pushing and getting it loaded up on the tip of my brush, just like that. And I'm going to start, and I'll turn my hand over like this, or my wrist, sort of have it coming in. And this is going to come over top here in the foreground. So what you can do is tap like this and then turn it the other way and sort of make it look like there's vines. And then of course you can just pull if you want to. And really intensify the corner. The contrast there over top of that phthalo blue will make it nice and dark. I'll add a little bit more. I'm going to load my brush up again. Come from this side. This is where you can hide the starting of those drips. It can look a little bit funny there at the top, so just cover it up. Tap, 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 very lightly. And you can pull, making it look a little bit soft and blurry at some points. And right there I picked up a little bit of blue, and that doesn't scare me. Just another shade or tone of blue or green that I'm creating when that happens. I don't let that scare me too much. I'm going to take a little bit more green, and I'm going to start coming in right in here, along the side here, sort of pull and sweep in. These can be little shadows in our path. Okay, so I'm picking up a little bit of that blue, and then I'm going to make them smaller and smaller. Okay, and I'm going to take a little bit of white now. I have a little bit of that green still left in my brush, but not very much. And I'm just going to start to tap a little bit and make this a bit more narrow. So it looks like it's farther away and a little bit softer. And then you can go up the sides with it if you want. Get a little bit more weight in there. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to wash my brush off and we'll switch over to another one. Now I've got this big brush. I'm not going to get it wet first. What I want to do is take my light neon purple violet. This is by Holbein and it's a beautiful color. I'm going to start tapping right in here, over top. Come around this side. Now the paint isn't really thick. I've just got a little bit I'm working with right now. Layering it over with that blue, and you can see how pretty that looks. That color is so nice. That's why it's important for you guys to see how to layer over. So when you want to layer over and create almost, it's like a bluey purple we've got here, and it's really pretty. So that's because of the phthalo blue in the background that's very thin, and then a bit of turquoise, and then a little bit of this light purple violet. Without washing my brush, I've got my neon pink. I'll take a little bit of that, and I'm going to start right about here, barely touching that canvas. Soft little taps. Get a little bit more on my brush. So I've got it right about there. I'm not getting the whole entire end of the brush saturated in paint. I'm going to leave a few spaces. Take a little bit more. And now it's a little bit thicker on the tip of my brush, just like that. Very lightly tap. Get some impressionistic looking little flowers going on. Lots of little taps. Kind of turning my brush. And this over top of the phthalo blue in here is going to create another color too once it dries. It won't look this bright pink. It'll be more of a purpley color. If you want it to stay this bright pink color, what you're going to have to do is tap it with a little bit of white. You can do just white taps before, or you can, and then come in with the pink after that, or you can mix the pink with the titanium white right away. And you might even have to go back again and add more pink in after that. It's a little bit of a tricky process when you want these bright colors to really show up. So I'm going to just very lightly add a little bit of, just a little bit of pink in here, getting smaller and smaller because it's getting further away, way back there in the distance. And then this nice soft light in here is really drawing us in, making us want to go walk through that archway and that path and see what it leads to, where it goes, and what's beyond this point. Okay, so I think I really like that. I'm just going to tap maybe just a little bit more in here. Okay, I'm going to wash my brush off. I'm going to switch over to a small one now, guys, and I'm going to change the colors to more warm now. That pink is warmish, but I'm going to get it even warmer with some of my neon orange and a little bit of yellow with titanium white. We're going to create some soft peaches, warm fuzzy peach colors, and some buttery yellows in there. and start really bringing this to life. Then we'll add our sun rays in and do a few more vines around the outside. All right, so I've got one of my Filbert brushes now, a 5 or a 6. I'm not getting my brush wet first. I'm going to take a little bit of white, a little bit of this neon orange, kind of blend it around and get this really pretty soft color. Okay, I'm going to go right to where I have a little bit of neon pink, and I'm going to start carefully overlapping it. I want to reload my brush, push into that paint until I get a nice little ridge on the top, or the end of my brush I mean. So start and then work your way back a little bit into that pink. I'm going to make up a little bit more of the color. You want to make sure it's in a clean area so that you're not mixing any blue or green with it at all, because you'll wreck the color if you do that. You want it to be nice and clean. So I've got you can just do little taps indicating that goes way back there, and you can add a little bit, maybe a little bit on the side. Now I want to take a little bit of neon pink, a little bit of orange. I've got a bit of white still in my brush. I'm softly going to push those two together, and I'm going to do some little dabs here and here, adding some more color. So we've got light peach, neon pink, neon orange together, then the neon pink, then we've got that neon purple. So we're using all these beautiful colors together. Okay, I'm going to mix up a little bit more color here. Some more of that pink and orange. Get those two all on the end of my brush. Barely touch that canvas because the paint underneath is still a little bit wet, and I don't want to get that all mixed up. Take a little bit more neon pink now. So you can see how much I have on the tip of my brush, guys. Now I'm just dabbing for like singular little, maybe they're hydrangeas or they're roses. You guys can decide, it's your garden, whatever you want to be in your healing garden. For me, I love hydrangeas and roses. I love delphiniums too. Maybe we can paint some delphiniums. So that looks really pretty. Now let's make some soft yellow. I'm washing my brush out really, really well. I'm drying it off. So I've got a fresh, clean brush to start with. I'm going to take some cadmium yellow, and this is a cool yellow because I want it to be nice and bright. I'm going to pick this spot right over here. Blend the two together, almost matches my shirt. And I'm going to start tapping a little bit right here. Along the sides. And maybe I'll just soften that a little bit actually. This is how I work, guys. So with a dry mop brush, I'm just softening this up a little bit because I need to come in with my sun rays, and I don't want to pick those globs of paint up and really mess this up. So I'm going to take the same yellow on my brush, but more white this time. Take a little bit more of this white, okay, and a little bit of water, just a little bit to loosen that up. And I might even need to add a little bit more here in a minute. I'm going to start from right here, okay? This point to like right here. So if you can see those two dots, I'll try to zoom in. Pull. Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of water and a little bit less paint because we don't want it to be really, really thick. There's supposed to be sun rays. It has to be kind of see-through. A little bit more. Okay, so we'll just do a few like that for now. I'm going to take my little tiny flat brush, soften this off a little bit. So just pull with a bit of water to even these out, and then I'm going to take just straight white now with my little flat brush. Barely touch that canvas. You can make, look, I picked up a little bit of paint, but you know what? I always think back to what Bob Ross would say, happy little accidents, and sometimes those little accidents or things you think went wrong in your paintings tend to be the nicest. So I'm going to paint over that part. I just want to get these all in here right now. I don't even know where this blue just came from, but I'm going to show you when things go wrong or you think they go wrong, you can fix it right away. So this blue here, that's not scaring me. I'm just going to go over top with a little bit of white, pull and flip, clean the excess off on a towel, and then go right back to it. Take a bit more white, get it right in there. Okay, and then I'm going to soften. Soften, soften, soften. Take some more of this green. I'm going to use this mop brush. It's handy. I've got it here right now. And I'm just going to start tapping with sap green in here. Right over. I'll come around the other side now. Load my brush up again. And I'll add maybe a few little ones here. I'm going to pinch my brush like this. The end just like that. Just to make some little skinnier ones. Just like that. A little bit more green. Maybe I'll pick up a little bit of phthalo blue now too. So I've got both sap green, phthalo on the end of my brush. And I'm going to just start adding some more shadow. I'll add some darker ones in here. There, that's really drawing our eyes into the center now, isn't it? Let's come in from this side. I wonder if you guys can see. I'm going to step over here so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay. So I'm really liking this so far. I'm going to add some more phthalo blue. Right in there. I want to leave some of this pretty turquoise in the background. I like the way that looks. Sap green, phthalo blue again. We will add a little bit of shadow right in here. There, we've got really nice light and dark going on there. I love that light and shadow. And then maybe just a whole lot of phthalo blue right in this area here. I'm going to wash off my brush. I'm going to go back to my Filbert brush and pick up some more of this light buttery yellow that I made. I'm going to add very carefully, so really, really carefully guys, right in here, little tiny taps. Little ones right in here. And then what you can do, you can tap it on and then pull and sweep up just like that. We can add a little bit more light to this path, picking up a little bit of that color. Let it happen. Let those little surprises, accidents happen. Maybe they're happening for a reason. I'm going to switch over to my little flat brush now and soften this up. There, I think that looks really pretty. I'm going to take a little bit of this sap green and phthalo blue I've got here and just add a little bit more of a shadow in here. So I'm taking the excess paint I have here and adding it over here. Just a little bit, guys. All you need is a little bit. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's take some same brush, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of turquoise, a little bit of sap green. We just want to make a lighter green color and something different that we don't have yet. Now we can take our brush, turning it sideways like this. Little pulls and flicks. Maybe there's some trees back there, some really long vines hanging down. Let's get a little bit more of that color. I'm sliding my brush in each color. Slide, slide. So I've got 3 colors on there. Let's see what happens. Barely touching the canvas. And then maybe some down here, picking up the edge of that pink and a bit of blue. All of these colors just sort of all blending into one another, creating a mood. Now, I'm almost done this painting. I just want to add a few more things. I want to add just a little bit more light in here. So I'm going to take a bit more white on my little flat brush, wiggle, get it looking like that. And I'm going to pull, pull, flick, I'm going to take a little bit more of my neon orange now, so I just went in with the corner of it into a little bit of that fuzzy peach we made earlier. And I'm just going to, with the corner of my brush, tap, 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 little orange flowers up here, not too much. And then maybe just a little bit here, a little bit more light on this path. Warm it up, make it really inviting. Almost done. I've got my neon purple violet. I'm just about running out of it, and I squeezed so hard that it cracked right here, and I just kind of got it all over my hands. I don't leave things out like that in my videos. I just want you guys to see how real I am, and I'm a messy painter. I'm gonna just for the heck of it, I normally wouldn't use a little mini fan brush for painting these flowers in the foreground, but I'm just gonna do that. Let's see what happens. Tap into that. Got quite a bit to work with on the end of my brush. And right in here, guys. Push, tap, push, tap. Okay, that looks really pretty. I'm gonna get some more, really load up my brush. You know what, it's working just fine. Take a bit more. Add just a little bit over there. And now it's mixing a bit with that. I picked up a little bit of that sap green, but I like it. So right down there, and let's see if we can get away with maybe a little bit of Weeping Wisteria down here, but in shadow. So it's like a really deep, pretty wine color. Grab a little bit of water. Just gonna pull the easel in so you guys can see. It's a little, there we go. So I'm really happy with how this turned out, and while I was painting it, I forgot about everything, and I hope you guys did too. Take the time to be happy, stay positive, and heal through art or whatever it is that you do. The weather's almost nice enough to get outside and start gardening. So I might do a little bit of that. I've got some roses that are starting to blossom right now and bloom. Cherry blossom trees are blooming, and you know, the birds are singing, the sun is shining. I have my health, my family, friends do, and many of you do. So I've got lots to be thankful for. Think of one thing that you're thankful for today and leave it in a comment below to help others stay positive, and hopefully we can start something here. Cheers, you guys. I wish you happy painting. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye for now.